Well, Stacey, it is such a pleasure to talk to you, a fellow Canadian. I was so excited to see that you were on the Big Break Sandals this year. And to get started, let's tell people a little bit about you, how you started in golf, and how you got on the Big Break.
Well, I'm from Winnipeg, Manitoba, and it's, a place that we have, I guess, the majority of winter months over summer months. And so in the winter, I'd play, volleyball or hockey or other sports. And in the summer, my family would all go golfing. My grandparents, my aunts and uncles, cousins, it was just a big thing that our family loved to do together. And so I used to go out and ride the cart and eat, but didn't really take an interest in it until I was about 15. And then something clicked. It was just like the first individual sport I did, and it interested me. It was a new challenge and something that I knew, I had to rely on myself for, and I couldn't turn to a teammate and hope that they'd help me through something. It was just about me and the golf course. So it was a new challenge, and I loved it.
So how did you get on the Big Break then?
The Big Break, well, I had thought about doing it, I guess, maybe a year and a half ago, but then I was told, I started doing some research, and one of my girlfriends and I decided we were going to apply. And my girlfriend applied, and I completely forgot about it, and I heard that I missed the application deadline. And then all of a sudden I hear that there's, like at one of our last events on the Futures Tour, I heard that there was an audition for the Big Break going on, and I already thought I had missed it. So anyway, I just went there and signed up, and they did like an on-camera interview where you just answered a bunch of questions, and you did an on-camera, I guess, they just asked you to hit shots on camera. And then we did a questionnaire. So just filled something out. They asked me questions, and I filled it out. And then maybe a couple months later, I found out that I was on the show, but I was kind of surprised because after I did the on-camera audition, I was convinced I didn't make it. I just thought that I tried to pick a personality and tried to be like really intense and stuff. And after the audition, I was just like, okay, I definitely messed that one up.
Well, obviously not.
But obviously not. So.
Yeah, no, obviously not. Well, it is quite a selection of ladies. They're very, very different. You're already seeing the alliances, even today's team selection. Everybody was sitting at the table already in those teams. It was like you chose to sit with the people you were most comfortable with.
Watching today's show, I didn't even notice that we were all sitting within our teams. But the two girls on my team, we're all roommates. So we had gotten to know each other and probably felt the most comfortable with each other, and that's probably why we sat next to each other. And Chris Brady I had known in college and after college, so I knew her a little bit before the show. I felt comfortable around her. And then Seema also, she's a fellow Canadian golfer. We played junior golf against each other, and we knew each other. So maybe that that had to do with it a little bit. I felt more comfortable around the girls that I had gotten to know better.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, and Seema was in my conference in college, so we got to know each other pretty well. And she had been coming upstairs to hang out with us girls that were rooming together, so we became pretty close to us. Yeah.
Well, that's good. Well, because I was going to ask when you got to pick who was going to be saved, and you picked Seema. There was they blocked it out of the television what the real discussion was about why Seema was chosen. Can you fill us in a little bit on that?
Well, it was hard because like Carlene had already won immunity before, so we weren't going to pick Carlene. Taryn I had become close with, and so Taryn was a possibility. Seema was also a possibility because I was close with her. And then Ryan I had kind of formed an alliance with the show before, and so we were thinking about her, but she's a very strong player, and so I wasn't really worried about her. I figured, if we don't pick her, she's fine. Like she'll fend for herself, and she'll be on to the next show regardless. And then Sarah, I didn't know Sarah as well. We kind of maybe played together once, and so I didn't know her as well. And it really came down to Taryn and Seema.
Well, let's get down to the real competition here. And it was pretty sad what happened with the shots that, obviously Greg set up some seriously difficult locations. Yeah. But then you came up and made it look so easy. It was just amazing that you hit that shot, given everything we'd seen up to that point.
Well, it wasn't actually. It was kind of a bunker shot. We were on the side of a cliff, and there was some sand down there, some beach sand. And so we were kind of playing it as a bunker shot, and it was longer than it looked on TV. And so you had to kind of hit the bunker shot far. And I had practiced bunker shots with, all different irons in my bag. And so I pulled out a 9-iron because I knew that I could carry that one a little bit further. And if I happened to chunk it, if my nerves got to me, I figured that it would run out just because I had a 9-iron in my hand as opposed to a 60 or a 56, which I would normally hit. So, and then instead of watching everyone kind of struggle through some of the shots, I was just trying to stay in the present and, look out into the ocean and just do my own thing. Just kind of get into my zone and relax and stuff. So I think that helped me also.
So picking that shot, obviously the three of you chose which one would do each shot. That was most definitely considered the hardest. Did you jump for that, or did you just get stuck with that after the other two picked their spots?
No. Well, the three of us walked around before the challenge started, and we got to kind of talk through everything and see what we're most comfortable with. And I actually do like the more difficult shots. I guess at the time I wasn't really thinking about that, but I tend to hit difficult shots pretty well. And so, I don't know, when I walked past the first bunker shot, the one that Lily had hit, I was thinking that I was going to hit that one. That's why I kind of felt an initial pull towards, I guess. And then second one, the long bump and run, I didn't really feel as confident with that. And then the final one, once I walked up to that, for some reason, I was just like, okay, this is a shot I need to hit.
Well, it sure worked.
Helped me. Yeah, Greg Norman helped me a little bit earlier with my bunker game.
Yeah, he gave some lessons. He gave some lessons out to you ladies at the beginning. How long did you guys work on stuff with him before you actually had to compete?
Probably like 40 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he gave us all a fair amount of time on different parts of our short game.
Oh, that's terrific. Well, he sure seemed great on TV, and obviously everybody's probably dying to know you spent a whole luncheon with him. What stood out for you?
I think just how genuine and down to earth he was. I tend to ask people a lot of personal questions, and he was very open to answering everything. I quizzed him about, his course designing and his clothing designing, everything that he does, and he's just very interesting. He's very sure of himself and very confident, but very willing to lend a hand and help others around him, and he made us feel important.
Oh, that's
and
great.
He was very into our conversation and listening, and it didn't seem like he was in a rush, like he had to be somewhere. He seemed happy to be having lunch with us and happy that he could come up there. So that was exciting. And then I just asked him a few questions on, how he practices and how he works out, and I took some notes from that.
Good.
You always want to learn from the best.
Yeah.
So. Just learning about what he does, his method. That helped me.
Wow. Well, I tell you, there was a lot of people sitting out there jealous tonight watching you guys sit there for the whole day with him. It was that's better than winning the big break, if you ask me. But anyway.
Well, Lily and I said to each other, like, you know what? If we were to go home tomorrow, we'd go home happy.
Yeah, I bet.
We're like, we both felt like we won the best immunity.
Oh, yeah.
Getting an opportunity to meet him, that was awesome. So we were really happy.
Oh, I bet. Well, you got to watch tonight stuff you never saw, which was the whole immunity challenge and watching the other ladies. Anything stick out for you tonight when you're watching it? That's something that surprised you or anything like that?
I know Carlin has been having a rough day with her blood sugar levels and stuff, and I was actually really proud of her that she pulled off a great short game shot, a great chip shot. I was really proud of her that she did that. So I thought that was great. And it was just funny how it ended up, the final elimination challenge ended up being Ryan versus Maya again.
Yeah.
The two, the duel, the match that they had in college to, go to nationals was now being carried over to the big break. Yeah, so when they were competing in college, Maya had won, and this time Ryan won. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was jealous that I didn't get to break the glass. That was like everyone wants to go on the show and break the glass, and I did not get to do that. So
well, but you got Greg Norman, so
true.
Well, is there anything I didn't ask you tonight about the show that you wanted to share with the audience before we close off?
I guess just as it's a great experience. Like you know, just watching, it's completely different than being there. Like it doesn't look like we're as nervous as we are, but I was telling some of my friends that being on that show, hitting those shots, is more nerve-wracking than teeing off in the first hole of a tournament. Or, I had never experienced that before. It was all the cameras on you, knowing that you had to hit that shot, or you'd be off and not make it to the next round, and that was really nerve-wracking. And it's kind of exciting, you know, to see what you can do under pressure, what you can do when you're that nervous. You know, and sometimes you make mistakes, and sometimes you can hit good shots. So, I don't know. It's just kind of like a good personal learning experience for me.
Oh,
I'm glad that I got to be a part of it.
Oh, well, that's good.
I'm having a blast.
Well, you take care.
Thank
Have a great week, and we'll talk to you again.